Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk to John Donham, the creator of online game MapTap, something that has captivated the regulars from this program. My name is Justine Mays. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley. Today's guest, John Donham, along with our special guests, Matt Modica, Kathy Kuhl, and Tim Swyatt.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, welcome, John. We appreciate you coming on. And I'm telling you, this game has really taken us by storm. We love it. We've talked about it on the show. We have a little private group that, we submit our score every single day. And there's some trash talk in there. Sometimes there's accusations of cheating. Pretty much anything that you can imagine happening in the group happens in that group. So it's fun. So we thank you for putting this together. We were having a blast with it for sure.
Thanks for having me on. I was telling my wife a few minutes ago I was going to be on a podcast, and she's like, "What are you going to talk about?" And I was like, "I think whiskey and MapTap." She's like, "You're going to be in heaven. That's amazing."
That's awesome. You're one of us then. If you like whiskey and MapTap, it's good fun. And we'll talk about the game. I mean, I've got so many questions. I'm sure the group does too. You know, how all this gets started, and what's the end game, and what it's like, how much money you're making from it. We'll talk about that. You shared a little bit of that already. It's not really a thing. It's something that the end is if it does get to the point where you can sell it out. But we'll talk about how all that works, and maybe we'll talk about some other games that have broken through and made it, and what was their path and what are you trying to do. So we'll talk about all that stuff. For right now, though, just tell us about yourself on a personal basis outside the game stuff. Tell us about where you live, hobbies, family, whatever you want to share. We're good with. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. So my name's John. I'm married to the woman of my dreams. Her name's Erin. I have 2 great kids, Ari, who's 20, and Micah, who is 16.
Okay.
I was just out teaching Micah how to drive. I recommend everyone else get off the roads. My daughter had a little too much fear going into driving. Micah doesn't have enough fear going into driving, so that's super exciting.
Yeah. You want that brake on the passenger side, don't you? I mean,
oh, yeah. They don't sell cars like that.
Right. Or they need to.
Those oh shit handles come into play now more than anything.
Yeah. It's scary.
I live kind of in the middle of nowhere. If you're familiar with Olympia, Washington, I'm a little north of there on an island called Harstein. It's like 45 minutes to the nearest grocery store.
All right. I'm going to look that up in case that comes up on the game.
I was about to say.
I'll be ready to answer that one. I've got it. I'm going to look that up. I will memorize it.
We're dialed in now.
Can you spell it?
Our big thing is you can't cheat in any way. You can't. If you know it, you know it. But you're not allowed to look things up, and so all that stuff. So yes. So, but I'm going to be on the lookout for that one because it sounds pretty unique. So
cool. I guess the only other thing to know about me, like fun stuff I like to do. I like to go kayaking. I like to run. I'm like an outdoorsy person. We go mushroom hunting for fun.
Yeah. Morel mushrooms up there too? Is that what
We haven't found morels, but we've got a chanterelle spot that's pretty amazing.
Okay.
Though.
Okay. People around here go for the morels, but I don't know if
Yeah.
that's regional or I don't, because I don't eat mushrooms myself. I have a problem with them. They're kind of I'm unsure about mushrooms.
Anything vegetable, John, is
Anything vegetable or fungus. I try to stay away from the funguses. So yes, yeah. So and tell us a little bit about, I guess, your job, or does that lead you into doing this, or is this just completely a hobby? How does this game thing start?
Yeah, kind of all of the above. I've been making video games for most of my professional career, the past 30 years. If you played games like 20 years ago, you probably at least knew of stuff that I made. I worked on the EverQuest franchise, which was a pretty popular game
I used
years
to play
ago.
that regularly. I'm a
That's cool.
nerd, I know, but
Yeah, there you go. Me too.
yeah.
Star Wars Galaxies was another one I did. And then mostly as I've grown up in the industry, it becomes less about working on individual games and, working overall in the company and company leadership, that sort of thing. A few years ago, I co-founded a game company called Magic Soup. We have our first game in development. It'll probably take a few more years to be finished. And then, as if like making games in my full-time job wasn't enough, I like to make games as my hobby too. And I tend in my hobby to make smaller bite-sized things because at work you're making something that takes like years to develop, and it's really fun to just make something like over a weekend and put it out there and see what happens. And so a lot of times I do that too.
Yeah, and obviously you're in that world. That's your coworkers. Is it pretty common for a lot of people to do that? Have there been any success stories for individual games, not for the company stuff, obviously, but individual games from anybody that you've worked with or anything?
Yeah, sure. I think all of us like games so much that we have 10 times more ideas in our heads than we have time to go make. And so I think it's pretty common. I have a friend at work, he really likes board games, and so he's constantly experimenting with like new board game prototypes and then periodically working to get those published. But MapTap is also kind of unusual. Like it's starting to get popular. And so it stands out.
Yeah. Well, deservedly so. So, does any of the group have any questions for John about, again, not about the game, because we're going to cover that all in the second half. Anything that you want to know on a personal basis?
So for the audience, John is standing in front of a really colorful background. I'm kind of curious, is that of your own doing? Is that or is that an art piece, or what is that?
Kind of left over from COVID. So my, at the time, 11-year-old son, he's autistic. And so we're all cooped up in COVID and we're quarantined, and he starts drawing on the walls. And you've really got two options as a parent when your child starts drawing on the wall. One is get angry. And the second is to say, that sounds awesome. I'll do it with you. So I tried both. And the getting angry didn't work. So that became my work backdrop, our painting together.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
that is fun.
I think there was a story there somewhere, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I got one for you too, John. So you said you were a fan of kayaking, correct?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with squirt boating, by the way?
No, I'm not. What is
Okay,
squirt
so
boating?
that's okay. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing because we have a friend of the program who also squirt boats as well as kayaks, and we think he's nuts. He's also a vegetarian and a vegan and all that stuff too as well. So
squirt boating is like, I think, a very small version of a kayak where you spend almost as much time underwater as you do above water. But yeah. So, but he's into that. He does he lives in Colorado and does a lot of outdoor stuff like
Do you
that.
do that like down a river?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
yes,
it sounds...
It's a whole subculture thing. I was just curious, and I'm glad you solidified and confirmed my thought, that process that, yes, squirt boating's not a real thing, but it is for some people.
For some people, but very small. He's like, if you're really into it, everybody knows it. No, there we go. Here's someone who's into kayaking and doesn't know what squirt boating is. So fair enough.
I'm pretty tame when it comes to kayaking. Like if there are waves out in the water, I'm like, ooh, that is a bad day. I think I'll wait.
I'm going to get my first dose of it. I'm going to Key West, and we're going to through the mangroves. So it should be nice and no waves or anything like that. So you can either do a paddleboard or a kayak. I think I got to go to the kayak. I don't want to be in the water, so that's going to be a goal. So I think the paddleboard at some point I'd dump for sure. So
once you get in, you'll be okay. Getting out too as well is going to be a problem. But once you're in, you're fine. I think it's like flying in a plane. The first 15 minutes, the last 15 minutes, those are the ones you got to worry about.
Yeah, there you go.
If you haven't done paddleboarding before, your time in the water is in the first 30 seconds as you try and stand up on a paddleboard.
That's going to be Kathy. Kathy's going. Yes. She's going to slick paddleboard, I'm sure. So.
Oh, of course.
Of course. So,
I like being in the water. Will there be alligators where we go?
No.
Okay.
No, not in Key West.
We'll probably have manatees, though.
Manatees will be around for sure. Sure, we'll see those.
Nurse sharks, yellowfin tuna.
Yellowfin tuna. I don't think in the mangroves. Tuna are huge. I don't think they're there. So we'll see. Well, maybe we'll report back if they're there. So should be fun.
So John, you said you live on an island, and I'm curious. It's just curious for me because all I can envision is, war games, and
that's what I was going to say. Exactly.
The game designer sitting out there, like, and the helicopter comes in to grab them and that kind of thing. So I'm kind of curious. Is it literally? I mean, got to take a boat to it, or is there a bridge, or is there something else, or what?
There's a bridge, but everyone knows that zombies can't swim. So when the zombie apocalypse comes, we're just going to blow the bridge, and then we're going to be safe on.
Then you'll be fine. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh. Perfect. That sounds good. All right. Well, on that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We're going to let our guests go first. So, John, you're up first. What do you got there? And as you apparently listened, you pop the cork. So, what do you got?
I have Russell's Reserve. I actually haven't tried this one before, but I thought if I showed up with Bullet, you all would just kick me off the program. So I decided to try.
You stepped up your game. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So here we go.
Okay. Decent. It could be enough. We'll see. All right. Next up, we'll have Tim go next, and at least, John, if nothing else, you'll have the lead.
He has the lead for now. Yes.
Yeah. He can't get his microphone settings right, so let's see what you got.
I can't. It sucks. All right. What can I do to give myself? All right. I'm going to go with some Cedar Ridge, quintessential signature blend.
Okay.
American single malt. Slide on the set.
Nothing. John has the lead.
I feel like I heard the squeak before the pop.
Yes, but we never get the pop.
Yeah. I don't know why would we hear the squeak but not the pop. I don't know. So yeah. Katie's going to come up and fix his microphone. That's all we know. So all right, Matt, you're next. What do you got?
I'm going to go back to my old reliable limousine rye from the ABV shop.
All right. Okay.
Wow.
You've taken over the lead. So let's see how this plays out. Kathy's next.
I have very little in this bottle of Peerless.
Okay.
The bourbon.
Okay. Not enough to take over. Matt's still got the lead. I've got Sazerac, the new 125 proof. So let's see what we got here. I'm hoping for good things, though I have opened it. I opened it on a show, but I'm hoping it's kind of resealed over the last week since I've popped it last. No, it did the opposite of that. There was nothing there. Matt's got the lead, but Justine, who is listed as the favorite, a 1-to-1 favorite going into this, is last but not least. We saved her because she's been on a roll here recently, so let's see how she does. What do you got, Justine?
I have some Neely Family Distillery. This is Distillery Pick Bourbon and Steel.
Wow, there it is.
Well done.
Justine does it as she thought she would. You could tell by the smile she knew she was going to win. There was no surprise there. I would like to have been like, oh, no, nothing like that.
No surprise.
Smug.
I have used this the last 3 times I've podcast in the last, week and a half, and it's like half full. I totally was not expecting it to do that.
We're gonna have to confiscate that and check it. So yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
There's a problem.
So all right. Cheers,
Cheers,
gang.
everyone.
Cheers to Justine. So. All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, it's all going to be MapTap time. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show. Oh man, that was bad. Whiskey down the wrong pipe. Help me.
Careful. And you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back. Today on the show, we are talking with the creator of the ABV Network Cruise Obsession, MapTap.
Yes, we are. So, MapTap for us comes through Justine. Justine's the first one in the group to discover it. She tells me, I start playing, and then we start, just when we got like a group of us around, we're like, you should try MapTap. And then you hear the game because it has a very distinct noise. And then people start playing, and we get more and more people playing. And then we're talking about the game. And then eventually, Justine says, we should start a group where we submit our scores every day. And I told Tim about that one night. It's like Justine was talking about that, and then he set up the group right away. So that's how we got to where we're at. And then Matt enhanced the group by creating a spreadsheet that keeps track of some stats, some cool stats and stuff. Just to get the audience up to date, if you haven't played MapTap, you certainly should. You can just Google MapTap game and that, and it's also it's in the App Store now, right? I haven't done that. I just use the online version. But so real quick, it's just a game that takes 2 minutes a day to play at most. I mean, it doesn't take very long. It's 5 either cities, countries. Sometimes it's a state. It can be an island. It's something to do with geography, though. It can be a picture of something in a place to be like, where is this? So it does it a couple different ways, and then you just tap on a globe that you can rotate around and kind of zoom in on, but not zoom so close you can see enough thing to just kind of be able to cheat. You got to kind of know where things are, so you can't get so close to help out certain things.
And there's no borders. There's no lines.
There's no borders or lines. So yeah, when you have to find
zoom is blurred as well, so it's not like you can pinpoint stuff.
When you want to find Omaha,
bastard,
Nebraska, you got to know where it's at. It's not like it's okay. That's why I know where Nebraska is.
And see rivers and bodies of water, though. So if you do know your rivers and bodies of water, that does help.
It does help.
And if you want an extra challenge, you play when there is like the night version of it, and all you see are the lights of big cities.
The big city lights can help, but I find the night game tougher when you do.
I think it's harder. Yeah,
I would agree.
So there's just 5 of them. It's just one after another. Boom, boom, boom. They go up in value. They're weighted, so they start with a couple of easy ones, and you get to a medium one, then a couple of hard ones, and then it gives you a score out of 1,000. So and then you just get to, and then there's all kinds of stats. You can look at how you compared versus, the world for the day, for the month. It's a very cool game. So, John, tell us a little bit how all this got started, and tell us about the game and where it's at now in terms of excitement and things like that, and how old it is. We have no idea.
Yeah. So first time I made a game that kind of felt like MapTap was 2008.
Okay.
And it was just on a PC. I was working at a company called MetaPlace, and we were trying to make a bunch of different little games in our game engine. And this was one that I made. And I kind of fell in love with it. And so then maybe about 2 years ago or so, I decided I had a handful of game ideas I really wanted to try and build. MapTap was one of them. And I just built a first working version of that. And so what I tend to do is when I make a little game like this, I put it in front of my wife first. And she generally has one of 2 reactions. One is, oh, this is absolutely terrible, and I'm never playing this again. And she puts the phone down. And that's pretty clear. And the second is, that wasn't awful.
Right.
You should.
That's what you're striving for. That wasn't awful.
That's right.
That's the perfect score.
Yes.
It doesn't truly suck yet.
Right.
So keep going. You're onto something.
Right.
That's right.
Okay.
And so MapTap was in that second category. In the first version of the game, I had just put in 500 locations, and I was randomly picking them. Got to the end, and there was nothing there. And she was like, "That was great, but I wish there was a payoff at the end." And so then I started putting like trivia about the location.
Yep.
And then I realized somewhere along the way that putting this is what happened this day in history at this location was just so much more interesting, because I like history. I don't know history very well. And this was a great way to learn history, like 200 words at a time. So just felt like a better payoff at the end.
Yeah. Well, I love the game because it's fun to play. And I'm telling you, I don't know how long I've been playing now, but I've learned geography so much more than probably any time in my life. I didn't even know the basics. If you told me to point out when I started doing this where Japan was, well, I kind of knew where Asia is, but there's several islands and stuff. Which one? I don't know. Or India, it's a fairly good sized country. I didn't know where that technically was at. This has helped me. I know so much more now than I did before, and I'm continuing to learn. So it's a cool game.
Well, Linda's gotten better as well, right? So it's just she was talking about the other day. She's like, I forced myself to learn, okay, where are the continents? Where are the countries in general?
And this is good knowledge to have.
You can see her improvement actually over time. I'm like, yeah, you are improving.
Yeah, her score that she submitted today was by far improved. If you go to your profile, it says my first game was July 21st of this year. So you've probably, Steve, been playing it since July too.
Yeah.
Because I think I was down there in July.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So John, when did you first go live with MapTap as we kind of know it?
Yeah. The first version was playable maybe May or June of 2024. And so it's been going a little over a year and a half. But as I was talking about earlier, the game makes, rounding to the nearest dollar, the game makes zero. It costs more than it makes in revenue. And so it's not the sort of thing you can market because like you would just spend money on marketing and not get any return for having spent your money.
Right.
And the only way it grows then is word of mouth or people sharing their scores with each other. Like they have a good time playing, they hit share and they share it with someone else, and then that person tries it out. And we in the game industry you call that, well, in not just in the game industry, but like for the app industry, you call that virality. And so the virality of the game slightly exceeds the churn. So more people retain and they share with their friends. And so the game grows like maybe 2 or 3% per week, which doesn't sound very much, but if you fast forward 100 weeks,
you accumulate.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. For sure. How much time do you have to spend now? The game's designed. You don't have to just continue to design. But the history that's in there every day and that information. How much time are you still spending on this game per week? Would you say?
Too much.
I would think so. It's cool.
Yeah, a lot. And I'm not done with features either. Like I had this. There's still a bug where some people on an iPhone. They, for whatever reason, try and load the 3D library that powers the globe, and it just fails for them. And I spent weeks trying to fix that bug, and I just couldn't find it or fix it. I think it's in WebGL, in the like actual library that's sitting on the phone. So I don't think I could even fix it if I found it. So then what I did was I made an app, because then it used a different 3D library instead of the browser library. It uses the core 3D library on the phone, OpenGL, and so like that's the sort of thing where like I'm just so passionate about this little game, and I've got like 50 users a week who show up who can't play it, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to make you an app because I don't want your experience to be.
You down to make sure that at least those 50 you get to play too. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, so you talk about really no revenue, from this thing, and ultimately, it's a hobby. It's fun. You enjoy. Probably, it's very rewarding to see people playing it. Being on the show, there's enough interest in it. I get that, but at the end of the day, you want to make money from stuff. What's the path to get there? How do you get to that point?
I don't know. I think the first step is just trying to have it make enough so that it pays its own bills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just going to be trial and error, like trying to come up with 10 different features and seeing which one causes people to say, sure, I'd be willing to pay for that. But the most obvious way to do it, the way almost every daily game does it, is through ads. And I just find that ruins a game experience, and I'm just not willing to do it. So it could pay for its bills right now if I turned on ads, and the technology for that is so well proven that that's something you could do in an hour. And I just can't bring myself to do it. I think I maybe love my product a little too much to want to put ads around it. So
I think it's going to happen. It sounds like I hate to make this show about me because it's not, but I mean that's the kind of stuff I do with our movies. I make movies and stuff like that, and you can sign a deal with the devil, and we can sell 95% of it, and then people get it on Netflix for you and all that kind of cool stuff. We don't want to do that. I would be like, I'd rather make no money off this thing and retain ownership and make it mine because I made it because I wanted to make it.
Exactly.
I don't want to just give it away or do the conventional way to do things. So yeah, I get what you're saying. So let's talk about like Wordle. Do you know? Obviously, that's a game that exploded. How did it get to that point? Did a celebrity find it or something? Or did they just pay for a bunch of ads? How did they get to the point where where the guy who created it ultimately gets bought out, sells it to the New York Times or whatever?
Yeah, Wordle's genius.
Mm-hmm.
Like what a simple little game.
Yeah.
And
I still play it every day. Yeah.
Because the share mechanism is so good, the number of people who are showing up and discovering it every day are higher than the number of people who stop playing it every day, and it just grew.
So it continues to grow then. Yeah, as long as that happens, you're growing always.
Yeah, and Wordle grew very quickly. Wordle does something really special that MapTap tries to do too. If you play a bunch of daily games, and I have, what Wordle does when you get the score from another player is it tells a story. You can like see every round and what happened in that round, but it doesn't give away what the answer is. And that story is just amazing. Like, have you ever seen someone who's got like two green and one yellow, and then the next bar is all gray because they missed everything? Like, you know how they're playing. They're like, oh, I don't know enough to guess what the word is, so I'm going to use a round to get rid of all of my letters. That's going to help me. And then suddenly they got it in 3. And you're like, that's amazing. Like, there's a story that came through in that share. And I just think that's the brilliance of Wordle, is how much storytelling is in that tiny little share that happens.
And that's where we get all the trash talk in MapTap. So, you know, when everybody shares their scores, there's always jabbing that's going on to say like, oh, well, or you know, commiserating to say like, that third one was absolutely horrific, right? And nobody could figure it out or whatever it might be. So it's a lot.
So that's MapTap does the same thing. It uses those little emoticons then to try and tell that story of what that round looked like. So I think that's one of the secrets to Wordle and its brilliance, is how much storytelling is in that share.
Gotcha. So, Kathy, what do you want to know about the game or anything? I don't want to monopolize all the time, though I still could ask plenty of questions for sure.
No, I want to ask about the scoring.
Okay.
Is it based distinctly on kilometers away from a point that you've determined? Like if it's a country?
Well, if it's a country, then all you have to do is get inside the country boundaries, and you'll get 100.
But what if you're just outside?
Yeah, then
it's going to measure
the distance to the nearest point, the nearest border of the country, which is a fun little piece of math. But then for like individual cities, for like New York, for instance, obviously New York is bigger than a single point on the map. And so what it does is it's got this grace area around where you tapped, which is 22 kilometers. So if you're in this 22 kilometer radius for New York, which definitely covers New York, like 40 kilometers across, then it rounds up to 100. And if you literally get it like in the city center, then there's a special emoticon for, oh, you didn't just score 100, like you actually hit the center of the target.
Okay. So, like, let's go St. Louis. If it said St. Louis, Missouri, and I actually got confused and put, where Kansas City is, the other side of the state, or if someone put East St. Louis, Illinois, which is right across the river, is because I got it in the state of Missouri, is there anything better than or is it just closest proximity? The person who selected East St. Louis would get a higher score than me if I had selected Kansas City?
Yeah, just location is what matters.
Okay, I always wondered that because it seemed I didn't know how it worked in terms of the scoring.
Yeah, it's just whoever taps the closest. Okay. I also think that makes it really fun for having no borders on the map. Like it's kind of a great equalizer in that way. Even geography buffs like show up to the game and they're like, oh wait, this is different. Like I'm not sure exactly where St. Louis is.
Right.
You're not going to show me where the borders of the individual states are. But, as local, someone who lives in St. Louis probably can be like, well, there's the Mississippi and about this far down,
right.
There I am.
There's the Missouri confluencing together with Mississippi, and you can figure out where that's at. Yeah, waterways are important.
Yeah.
Do you have the little trash talking it does when you're wrong?
I was just going to ask.
That
is outstanding.
Is that just random, or?
Oh, that game will put me in my place.
Yeah. Do you have those set by like, if they're this far away, we're going to use this. If they're this far, then we use this.
I had so much fun writing those. The further away, the worse they get. Like a recent one that I added was, in cosmic terms, this is a bullseye, and that's if you're on the other side of the planet.
Still a positive comment.
I've done some
positive.
of those. Yes,
Yeah.
I've had a few of those.
I did that one of those.
Yeah. Well, that's fun
What
stuff.
about the 0.0 scores? Those should be applauded just as much as somebody getting 100. Because if you are that wrong, there needs to be an icon for that to have some fun with that.
I was very proud of my 0 that I got that one day. I don't remember what it was
possible, but it happened.
It was flat 0.
Well, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Are you ready?
Okay.
Right here, the spoilers for MapTap are going to be revealed. If you click the exact opposite of the map for all 5 times in a row, you can score negative 1,000 points.
Love it.
Challenge.
Yeah, the problem is you go for that and then you don't succeed, and then suddenly you're sharing your score with your friend, and they're like, "Why did you score 160?"
Right.
And it's like, long story.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like
So you
playing
do have
hearts.
to yeah.
Gotta shoot for the moon. If you don't get it, you get none of it.
That's right.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Who is Hanky Panky?
Thank you. I was going to ask that
Who
too.
is Hanky Panky? Yes.
Who is Hanky Panky?
I don't know. He scores really well, though, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. Yes. Quote in air quotes scores. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Every single day.
So I think we have to explain who Hanky Panky is, at least from an audience perspective.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So,
for people who don't know.
yeah. So there's a you can see usernames of people that have decided to register essentially, and then it records who has the highest score, and consistently this username Hanky Panky is always at the top for whatever reason.
Mostly scoring perfect scores. If not very
always,
close to it. But yeah.
All 1,000 points.
Definitely.
Yeah, and
So they do this
it's a sort of game where if you want to cheat, like you can cheat, right? Like there's nothing that prohibits you from doing it. MapTap is up to 60,000 people a month playing it.
Okay.
And like, what are the odds there's one person in 60,000 who's going to cheat? But similarly, what are the odds that one person in 60,000 might actually legitimately be that good?
Right.
Like, I don't know. It makes I was thinking about this past week because all the leaderboard stuff made a ton of sense when the game was, like 5,000 or 10,000 people. But now that it's gotten to tens of thousands, I'm actually wondering if the leaderboards don't make sense anymore. Instead, maybe it should be group leaderboards, like you assemble little teams and it's like the top 5 people from your team, whatever they scored today, against all the other teams that exist out there or something like that. But I haven't figured out what to do there yet. I just don't think leaderboards, like if you had 10 million people playing your game, a leaderboard of the top 10 players is all going to be people scoring 100%. And so at some point, the leaderboards were great while it was small, but not smart as it gets big.
Yeah. You could add a button where it just says score 1,000. And there would be people who would hit that every day and be very satisfied that they got a perfect score.
Yeah.
They would be like, yes.
We've gotten I've made it overly complex, but I've created some algorithms with the help of AI to figure out likelihood of cheating of the group scores that we have and everything. And so and I've been sharing those with John just to say like, hey, here's what we're doing, and just kind of, I don't know. So maybe that'll help you with something. Who knows?
Yeah.
There is that pause when you have a bang out score and you're just waiting to get flagged, and then somebody finally comes in just below you, and you're like,
yeah,
I didn't cheat.
That happened with you the other day with McNew.
I did not cheat.
Yeah, you totally cheated, and then McNew also cheated, and then you were like, oh, we're in this together. Maybe you formed a partnership that day where it's like, yeah, let's just do this together, McNew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was Christmas Eve actually. 963 for Swiat and 939 for McNew.
Yeah, and everybody else was
miracle.
like 700, or below. So
Yep.
Amazing. So, and then Matt, so you reached out to John initially, right? You were like, how did that come about? Did you just?
Yeah, it was odd. It's unusual to have a developer actually be invested. I'll just, I don't know. I hate to say it that way, but like, so I wanted to do a little more research. I'm like, man, I wonder, because this group concept and idea we're having a lot of fun with it. And I created this spreadsheet that we track basically our team scores, and we have different silly little challenges and things that we put in it. And, whenever somebody has a goose egg and a 0 or doesn't participate for the day, it's beat red and 0, on the score, and it goes against their average. And so I was like, well, it'd be kind of interesting to see if there's, a comment or a submission point or whatever. And so I did a little bit of research and looked on the websites and everything, and found the Discord channel. And John's created a really cool Discord channel, or group of channels, really. And I just started like kind of stalking, I don't know, in there a little bit, and kind of listening in and providing feedback here and there. And then I was like, hey, and John was very active in that channel, which is really cool to see, actually. Because I would see like, oh, here's this bug report, and then John would be like, fixed, like within 24 hours. I'm like, man, this person is like actually invested in enjoying this game, right?
That's cool.
So just one thing led to another. Kind of reached out, contacted him, and got his email, and now he probably regrets that. So
Not yet.
So John, you said before we got started, you're going to be adding groups to this. Is that something that's in the works, active right now? Where do you stand on that, if that's going to happen?
Yeah, so I finished the first version of that this morning and posted it to the Discord channel, and Matt started posting bugs. So this afternoon, before the podcast, I was working on fixing those bugs. I guess a part of the question is what should be in the groups. Like, you want to see everyone else's scores, and you probably want to see historical. And we were talking about maybe there should be a leaderboard of how groups do against other groups. But I'm interested to see what ideas come out for what else should be part of groups. Like, should you be able to like comment and smack talk within your group, and so comment directly on the page? Like, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that I'm thinking about.
Okay, very cool.
That would take away from the notifications of massive group text that are going on.
Actually,
there is something to say about that.
Tim, you're right. That is a disadvantage, right? Like, if you take the text messages away, then the text messages are also a reminder to go play. And so, I worry about that too.
Okay. Yeah.
This is one though that I don't forget to play. Like,
No.
I've forgotten to play Connections, I've forgotten to play Wordle, but like literally I play this most of the time first thing in the morning before I get out of bed, when I'm just laying there trying to get the will to get out of bed. Like, that's when I play it.
Like the biggest compliment in the world. Thank you.
This is a very early group. Once that midnight turns over, people are posting, especially on Friday nights and Saturday nights when they're maybe not necessarily in their best frame of mind. Those are good point scoring days for the rest of us. These 4 a.m., 3 a.m. posts, and people posted scores, and usually the majority are in by about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I would say. And then there's always the stragglers that wait, that are always the last ones. And it's the same ones every time, the procrastinators who don't wake up until 11.
Miss Becca Sue wants to read the text for the entire day to see if there's any hints in there. So we're very, we'll just say we don't, number 3 was tough today or whatever. We can't put any sort of hints in there, because there are people like Miss Becca Sue who utilize that to their advantage. If you say
information is available, it should be used.
If you're like, I can't believe that's in South America. I thought it was in Germany, and then now they know, right? Yeah, they're
going to score better. Yeah.
So we make sure we don't do that anymore. So, John, what's the future hold for this thing? Where can this thing go?
Oof. One of the things I really like about it is I do think it's educational. I think it's really magic when you have a game that also teaches you something that's not common. Wordle does that. It's another piece of the magic of Wordle. So one of the things I've been thinking about is more practice maps, a practice map that's custom to you. So if you've been playing for a month or two, then I know your history of these are areas that you know, and here are areas you don't.
Yeah.
And so then you could make a like warm-up game before the actual
That's a
daily
great
game.
idea. Yeah.
That is, here's the places in which you probably need help. And then there's also, I can probably infer additional places. For instance, if you're always scoring badly in Africa, then the practice map could include just more African locations, not just the specific ones that you were bad at, but let's presume you're bad at the whole continent. So that's probably the next biggest feature that I think about. Long term, it would be cool to just keep investing in the thing and make it bigger and bigger. Like as long as there's an audience for it, then my passion for it only goes up. I'm looking forward to doing more.
Right.
I have found through the practice maps that the practice games that I suck at flags. I don't know like any. I know like 5 flags. That's it.
Me too. Like, I have friends that outscore me at this game, which seems like it shouldn't happen since I know where all the locations are for the day.
Yeah. Do you play every day?
Yeah, I do. I make maps.
I hope you're very high. I hope you've got to be averaging over 900. I mean,
I do score pretty well, but I also have the memory of a gnat. So right. I make maps like a month or 2 in advance, just because I don't like. You never want to be like one day in advance.
Yeah, life happens, and you're like,
exactly.
Yeah. So.
And so by the time the day rolls around, I'm like, I don't remember this map. Where's that? And then I feel pretty dumb because, then the maker of the game isn't scoring very well on the thing they made.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a whole world ahead of you with this thing, and who knows where it's going to go. It sounds like, selling out at the same time financially it's great, but then it's no longer your game. That's also got to be something that sits in the back of your mind, because it's no longer yours. You might have created it, you did it, but then whatever happens at that point. I mean, because it's no longer yours. Do you think about that as you look at the future?
That would be really humbling. Like if someone came along and said, "Hey, we'd like to own that." Like that doesn't happen very often. Mm-hmm. So that's I try not to think about that. Like, I don't know. I don't want to jinx myself. Right. I want to just let it be.
But then, it also might be tough to. I mean, that's great financial. But then someone takes it over the next day, and it's like, okay, find Walmart headquarters, and then it says, and then you got to find in Arkansas where they're at, and something like that could happen. It's like
imagine instead it was like Wikipedia. Maybe Wikipedia would be like, you know what? We'd love to have a daily game on our front homepage,
right?
And so much of this information leads straight to potential Wikipedia articles to go read. You could just make that tie-in. And then it wouldn't even be about like the money. It would be about, well, now MapTap could potentially reach tens of millions of people. Like that would be incredible. Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't think about it very much, because I figure whatever's going to happen, the universe will make it clear what the right thing is going to be.
Have you thought of, and I think there was one day not too long ago, maybe last month, where like each spot had something to do with this one person that explored or traveled or whatever.
Nellie Bly.
Ellen, I think, wasn't it?
And but like, have you ever thought of like for using the clues or whatever, like Elvis's birthplace or stuff like that, instead of like putting out like the name of the state or the country or whatever? And so then like you kind of have to like think about if you know that person and like where they came from, and
adds another twist to it, another whole other element of knowledge.
Yeah, totally. I did experiment with that, and sometimes you'll still see some of those in there. A good example recently that I took out was J.R. Tolkien's birthplace, which most people wouldn't realize is South Africa. Oh. And so it's kind of like a two-step.
I'd have been hitting England.
Exactly.
I would too.
And then that arrow would have went. And it would have been trash talking.
Close in cosmic terms.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Another type of map that I used to do would be something like what's the find 5 of the top 10 most populous countries in the world. And so, and then you would tap on the capital in order.
Okay.
And so, like, kind of these trivia based things. But I found the people want variety, but they don't want it to be that different. Just looking at the metrics
of scores were dropping by then, so that has to be addressed. Yes.
So I think, Justine, I think some of that is good, and you'll see a little more of that in the coming days. But I've drifted a little bit away from the trivia-based stuff, just because like that second order of having to think through where something is, and like the J.R. Tolkien example I gave you is like now you have to get 2 things right, not just one.
And ultimately, what keeps people coming back is they want to know they have a chance at doing well. And the harder you make it,
Right.
the lower their scores are going to be. So you just got to be careful with that. I used to do a lot of trivia nights here in St. Louis, and you had to make it where all tables are going to get something every round. They're going to get 3 or 4 of them out of 10 every round. Otherwise, if you make it too hard, they get disengaged, and it's not good. So
Yeah, another quick example of that, I've had a lot of international users write in and say, well, I don't understand why you're making Constantinople or Istanbul a medium or difficult. Like I live right next to it.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, oh, well, sorry, you're right. And for them, finding St. Louis would be really hard.
Yeah.
But I want to have the same locations worldwide for everyone. And so I've since I'm American, I picked what would be, I perceive, hard or
Right.
easy from an American point of view.
That makes complete
Love
sense. John, as we get ready to wrap this up, what other games do you have? What can we be on the lookout for? Anything like that?
Yeah, there's a couple other games that you could find links to if you go to MapTap. I think probably my favorite is Noggle, which is a logic-based game. You kind of got to figure out which things associate with what other things. And that one's got daily content and will teach you something every day. And then I did kind of a take on Wordle called Swapple, which just has like a 5x5 grid of words that make words both directions, horizontal and vertical, and you move the letters around in order to solve that. And that was a really fun like engineering challenge to find the maps where 5 words horizontally also make 5 words vertically. I'm not sure how much fun the game actually is, but the game was really fun to make. So I made it.
Yeah, very cool. We'll wrap this one up, as we always do, by talking about where people can find us. John, we'll start with you, and you can share anything you like. I'm talking websites, social media, anything that will help you, get people engaged and active in the games that you create, or, follow along on the journey. Let us know.
That sounds great. Just come to maptap.gg or just do a Google search for MapTap or MapTap game, and or go, if you have an iPhone, go to the App Store and search for MapTap, and it'll be their first hit. The weird thing to know about me, I'm not very big into social media like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. You can't find me on any of those things. And it's just, I don't enjoy hanging out in those places. So the game is the place to go. And if you want to write me, you can, john@maptap.gg, and I'm happy to hear your feedback and send you my thoughts.
All right, very cool. For the rest of the team, starting with Matt. Matt, where can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn and my name, Matthew Monica.
All right, Tim.
You can find me on MapTap as SwyGuy2112 and on Instagram. And also noticing a way to support MapTap there too as well with MapTap Plus that I may or may not have subscribed to give an edge to myself with better zooms. Also on YouTube.
I didn't know they had this. You can pay for better zooms?
You got it right. Support the crew. And then on YouTube at our flagship whiskey.
All right. Tim, it doesn't. I'm glad we had the show because he admitted this now. So this is good. It's something we can all do. We should support you. We're having fun at this. I always say when we like something, we should support the artists. This idea of people don't want to pay for anything that gives them entertainment and joy. That's not right. As a creative person myself who creates content, most of it for free. People that don't, and you put it out there, and certainly if you can't afford it, enjoy it. I mean, that's what it's out there for. But if you have the discretionary income and you want to say thank you, it's good to support in that way. So we appreciate finding out about that. And yeah, you should definitely put, if you want to contribute to the success of this, put a link on there. I think most of us would be willing to throw a few bucks your way for sure, because it's a lot of fun. All right, Kathy, how about you?
You can find me checking out this Noggle thing next.
That's your
continuing
next
my MapTap odyssey, and on Instagram at KKCaststrength.
All right, Justine.
Well, first, I have to thank my friend Jason for showing me this game, who then brought it to all of you.
Yep.
So I want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. So when I send him the link to this show,
cool. And then we'll have Jason on next week, and he'll thank who showed him, and then we'll just keep once a week. We're going to have this till we get to the true first person to find it. So
ground zero.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram at JA_Maze.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Also, come by and see me at the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We're online, abvbarrelshop.com. Also, check out my YouTube channel, Bourbon Sasquatch. Justine, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. Also, if you like what we're doing, please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the Network.
All right, that's going to do it for today. John, I just want to take a moment just to simply say thank you. You give us a lot of joy, fun. Let's hear it for him. I mean, it's a cool thing. I mean, so yeah, we really, really appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks so much for playing.
We also gave Matt away back to Grace because he killed our kite flying day. And now his ability to do this has brought us back to the group. So
we're all
found a way to get back in our grace. But yes.
I own a business, and I was going to have a kite flying day right outside the business. And Matt said he doesn't have anything to do with my business, doesn't own it or anything. He said, no, you're not going to be able to do that. You've got power lines out there. You've got traffic going on the road there. You can't do that. I'm like, I think I want to do it. He's like, nope, I'm not going to allow it. I'm like, and for some reason, I listened to him. He doesn't, for some reason. He got me, so yeah. So that's
practically live across the street from the city hall, but or not live across, but your business is really close.
Well, you brought him back to the graces of the group.
Yes,
so,
you did,
John. Thank you for that.
We appreciate that too, because he's a good guy. So there you go.
Well,
that's going to do it for today.
Me.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. That'll do it for today. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.